Hey everyone, and welcome back to another board note game video. Today's video is dedicated to a should you pull for Kyoka. For free-to-play players, no, I don't suggest pulling for her. She's going to be a permanent 3-star unit within the game, so you may randomly pull her on some random banner that appears, or you might get her on Prefest in case y'all are saving for that. So let's go ahead and jump into Kyoka's bits and talk about her information. So just note that this is her at maxed out at 3-star. Just note that she is a 3-star permanent character like I talked about earlier, and these are going to be her stats and stuff. So let's go ahead and max it all out just for the sake of it so you can see how powerful she can get and what gear she's going to be requiring. 9,853 base power at 5-star level 88. Pretty good, I have to say. And the things that I like about her is going to be her ability to pretty much be a single target mage, alright? So deals massive damage to an enemy directly in the front. So let's go ahead and showcase what Kyoka can actually do within JP. So this is going to be your warning that we're going to be jumping into some JP bits. Alright, here we are. So we're here in the Little Lyrical event, and we're going to go ahead and tackle this event right here. And we're going to put Kyoka on the line just by herself. She is strong enough to tackle this, but just note that she's level 99 and she is going to be rank 8 maxed, alright? So you can see here, her first skill was pretty much her buff ability, where she increases her own magical attack, and then she casts, that 3 icicle attack, which is pretty cool looking, right? Now right here, that's going to be her UB, single target, going to be very powerful. She's gonna be the best single target mage for quite some time. I believe one of the few units that can actually out damage her is going to be someone like New Year Karu, which is going to be appearing in year 2. So Kyoka is going to be the #1 unit for quite some time, even though she's a permanent unit. I suggest folks, even though free to play shouldn't pull for her, if you're a clan battle person, one person within the clan should have 1 copy of Kyoka, because Kyoka is going to enable a lot of magical based teams, right? So let's go ahead and show an example of what a possible team could look for clan battle if it's just magic based alone, right? So right here, this is a team that I sort of set up, right? You're gonna have Ilya, Saren, Akari, and then your Carol, and then Kyoka. This is what it's going to sort of look like within clan battle, because these are all units that can sort of synergize off of each other. Now note that you shouldn't use someone like Ilya in the front. You could probably use someone I don't know, Nozumi or something as your overall tank, because Nozumi has buffs and she can buff everyone up. Saren can provide TP boost to Akari or something like that, right? Or you could use someone like Yukari instead as well. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, this is going to be these 3 units in particular will help actually create a magical team, and having Kyoka on the line will pretty much help you deal damage towards other avenues of clan battle, opposed to just using your standard June and Makoto comps all the time. You can use something like Kyoka and actually have some fun in the game, because experimentation is key, and being able to try different comps early on in the game is going to be really fun. Now I feel in some ways Kyoka is going to be a fun pull and a fun unit to really have at the current course of the game, because there's no one else that's going to be like her for quite some time. Now this is based off of the current schedule. If we go based off of the current schedule, I know the next unit's going to be Ilya, but Ilya is not a unit that everyone can use, because she's going to be necessary at 5-star to be usable. Kyoka is usable at 3-star because she sits in the back. Ilya sits in the middle, and she also kills herself upon her attacks. So Kyoka is going to be much easier to use, much more viable. She can fit on a lot more teams, and overall I just enjoy her kit much more than someone like Ilya, who has that lifesteal, not to mention her capabilities of killing herself. I just really don't like that. I want to say that folks should pull on her if they feel like they need a mage comp within clan battle, or they want to just try out having a mage team overall within PvE game modes. I feel like she can be very helpful there. So yeah, there's definitely no reasons I feel not to pull on the Kyoka banner outside of the fact that you just want to save for Summer Karu. But seeing how as Summer Karu is going to be possibly 6 months if we keep up with the current banner schedules, then, you know, I really don't think it hurts that much to pull. Or you can pull for the Ilya banner, it's up to you. Or you can pull on the Summer Pekko and like Summer Karu banner, because Summer Pekko is pretty waifu as well. So it's up to you at the end of the day. You know, is Kyoka your waifu? Don't go to jail or anything. But one more thing that I really wanted to showcase, if you go into bosses, the Amba boss is here. This is like the guy from Little Lyrical, and he actually has his level 50 stats. So just note that this is all pulled from the actual Princess Connect like database. So what this means is, you know, this is probably the boss at its like mass amount of stats, and you know, it talks about dealing magical damage, and when he falls below 50% HP, his attacks become even more intense. So this boss is going to be fairly difficult for a lot of folks. So be careful with him and make sure to bring a Yukari. And note here that he inflicts stuns, so timing Yukari's shield will be very important to block those stuns out. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into some PvP as we always do and just talk about a few things. Overall thoughts, I feel like most folks, if you have like a decent amount of gems, you know, decent amount of tickets, then feel free to pull for Kyoka, because she's going to be a fantastic unit for everyone. She doesn't have any drawbacks whatsoever, I have to say, just because she's a mage that's single target, right? Now, she's not going to obviously be that crazy for PvP, but she can be very good in PvP situations where, you know, you just want to overwhelm the enemy with magical attacks, because sometimes you don't want to hit everyone at the same time. You want to hit one particular unit, so Kyoka can be good at hitting one particular unit. Of course, Tamaki can still like snipe her out if you have a Kyoka on your team and everything, but I feel like Kyoka is also a selfish character in some ways because she only buffs herself. So just note that that's going to be like her drawing points and her drawbacks, is that she's a selfish unit. She takes advantage of her own capabilities, and she gets stronger as she gets, you know, within the fight, but most of all, she won't really be helping out the team members too much. Overall, I think like Kyoka is going to be a nice unit for everyone though. I keep saying that just because she's like a unique unit that we'll have in the game. Compared to the other units like Ilya and stuff, I feel like Ilya is going to be really good, but it's not to the point where we can use her properly. I feel like Ilya requires higher ranks for her to be more viable. We don't really have like any lifesteal gear. We don't have any unique equipment. And Ilya, from what I can see, is more of a late game unit from what I've experienced, because Ilya can be used in later clan battles and stuff, but she requires higher ranks. You know, she needs to be able to completely overwhelm her opponents for her to be viable. She's not one of those units who's like, if we're the same level, then we can compete. Kyoka's obviously different because she sits in the back. Ilya sits in the middle, and she can take a lot of heat being in the middle. Alright. Like, sort of like she sits in the same position as like Mimi, you could say, in some ways, right? And I would have to say if Saren can boost Ilya, that would be pretty nice. That way Ilya can get some, you know, more lifesteal from her UB. But she's just a very hard unit to master, Ilya. Whereas Kyoka will be much, much easier. I'm not sure if we're going to have too many difficulties with this team. I feel like it was a little bit too defensive with like all the tanks and stuff. So pretty short work of this one. Saren plus Mimi combo and Mitsuki. This team right there, very, very good at like dealing AoE damage. That's like my ghetto like Reno cannon, because I don't have like a Reno and stuff. Mimi is like my sort of Reno in that situation. And then over here we should be perfectly fine, because this is our wannabe mage melt team with like Ayo, Kari, and Carol. Does the job, you know, it does what it needs to do in order to deal some magic DPS. I really do want Kyoka, so I feel like I'm going to be pulling myself, in case you guys are wondering. So I'm going to do like a couple pulls. I'm not going to go too crazy, you know, maybe do like 1 to 3 multis. We'll see. Hopefully I don't go too deep or anything like that, because I want to save myself for Summer Peck Read most of all. But anyways, that is it for today's video. You know, we did some Battle Arena, some Princess Arena, Kyoka recommendations. Definitely pull for her if she is waifu. I'm going to be doing some pulls just because I have some leftover gems and I feel like, you know, everyone could use a Kyoka. Anyways, if you made it this far, consider subscribing, dropping a like, Leave me a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. 17,500 subs, we'll be doing a giveaway. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.